Hello everyone, this is Evan Abrams, and in this video we're going to be continuing our look into the motion design pre-production process with storyboards. We've made some mood boards, then in part 2 we made some style frames off of those mood boards, but now we've arrived, we are ready to do the last thing, the last parts before we jump into real production. We have to decide what the rest of this is going to look like. This series has been brought to you by Milanote. We've been using their wonderful web app to organize and present all the steps of our pre-production process so far. Milanote is a great virtual canvas to organize your creative projects and share them with a team or with clients. Many of these steps have started out very messy, and Milanote has helped us to get them organized and under control. Use the link in the description to give Milanote a try and make your pre-production even more productive. Now, I want to recognize that many people devote their entire careers to storyboarding. This is an art all to itself. It's combining a lot of disciplines, a lot of techniques. I'm hoping this video is going to help get you started with storyboards or help refine your process a little bit. This is a part of pre-production that I think is essential to creating good work. At its core, it's a pre-visualization of what we can expect the movement and the composition of the final piece to look like. If we were to take the storyboard, take its individual pictures, lay them out on a timeline in an editor like Premiere, we could watch a very low frame rate version of the final animation in what we call an animatic. Now, some storyboards are just black and white sketches, others have little bits of color to highlight key characters or objects or get composition down. Some of them are very close to the final look that you're going to see in the piece. It really depends on who's going to be reviewing the storyboard, what their purpose is. Is it a communication tool? Is it kind of a pitch tool? It really depends on who's going to see it. If this is a personal project and only you are seeing the storyboard, you can be as loose as you need. It's only to communicate with you. So how do we get started? Well, we have to look back at the script and the style frame and kind of put together what kind of angles, what kind of compositions are going to be correct for telling the narrative that we've laid out in that script. So let's look at the script we've been using for this piece in Milanote. We described the inciting incident here in a few points. We have to choose if these are going to be many shots or if we want to convey this in one long shot. I'm the director here, so I say we're going to go for one in the establishing shot, and we'll maybe throw up a title on there as well. And then we use one for all of this action. Then we move on to the next block. This could all be in one long shot as well, with fluid transitions. This is the time we want to consider how we're getting from one scene to another or one composition to another. We could be describing zooms and pans and dollies, all kinds of movements and cuts. This is where we're choosing how we'll see these scenes, how we'll convey this action, and we're drawing those choices. For the actual drawing, I like to start on real paper with real pencils. I cannot recommend this enough. It gets you off of a screen, and I find it really frees me up to make and throw away more ideas more quickly. Maybe you're more comfortable with Procreate on a tablet, or Photoshop using a Cintiq, or you like vector drawing in Illustrator, or maybe you render things in Blender. If it's fast and gestural and you can very quickly get your ideas into the frame, that's the method you want to use. The purpose of this process is to see visually what is going to be in the frame, and the quicker you can put those ideas out there, the better. We want to see what will work and what won't, so we can discard the ideas that aren't working and refine the ones that are. So, how do we know when things are working? You want to lay out your drawings into a nice grid so you can appreciate them all at once. You may want to organize them by scene or just in a readable array. I'm going to drop these sketches into Milanote so we can organize them. These are just photos of my sketchbook. We can come back later and replace them with refined vector versions or something we touch up later, but this works to convey what we're doing. And if they don't work, well, at least we didn't spend a lot of time on ideas that don't work. So we lay these all out, and then maybe we use some captions to describe the movement or action. We may even pull from the script or narration to put under here. Now, if we can understand the narrative from just looking at these and they convey the emotional content we want, then we're in good shape to move on. But we may even decide, oh, this angle isn't working, let's redo that. Or this should be a one shot, not two. Or these shots don't really carry the story forward, let's delete them altogether. We're making those editing and cinematography choices at this stage because we only want to create scenes that are going to work with the piece overall. And this process is going to inform what those are. So here's some tips that can really help you along in the process because you can really spiral and go back and forth for a long time. First, start by doing the major beats. You want to have one picture, one image for each of the major points, the major action, the big things that are going to happen. Then we can go back and fill in more if those areas deserve it. For example, here at the beginning, I would do one image for the establishing shot. Do I need more images to convey what's going on here? a chess match is starting. I always opt for an economy of shots, telling more with less, and trying to trim away. Someone else might think this needs to be slower, pace it out, lull someone in. And in this next scene, we start with one image, and we have to choose, do we need more angles? Are we going to cut in when the hand touches the chess piece? I'm thinking no, but for the storyboard, I may have to communicate more of the beats of this one long shot. Even though we may stay locked here, I might want to show the hand entering the frame, setting the piece down, the hand hitting the clock, the hand leaving frame. All of these are beats of the scene that are important. If they're not important, don't show them. But if we want to show hesitation or decisiveness, we're going to want to communicate more of that using the beats that the hand is going to do as it moves around. We have a lot of choices to make here, especially here in the next scene. The point of this scene is to show character reaction, hesitation, pressure. We need to be increasing the tension, so we need more cuts. Cutting back and forth from the eyes to the chess piece to the clock, getting tighter each time. We're using these choices of images to build a feeling. Is this too much? Is it not enough? Is the order right? That's what we're choosing. And for whatever pieces you're making, you may have even more choices to make. Someone else might approach the same scene and say, no hard cuts. This should be done in one long shot, and we would have to convey that using the boards as well. Once we're happy with how things are looking, we can refine and clean these up for presentation to a client or to the team or someone for review and approval. If you need to get buy-in or you need to convince somebody, it's definitely worth going through this with them just so they don't have to interpret it themselves. But hopefully this has given you some insight to start your own storyboarding. You have to start deciding what's in the frame, what isn't there, how do we get from one frame to another. All of those decisions come into the storyboard process. But so far, all of these are just rough frames. They're just illustrations. Stick around in the series because the next episode we're going to pick one of these scenes and animate them. For now, thank you so much for watching. I've been Evan Abrams. If you have questions about storyboards or pre-production in general, please let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed learning about motion design, then please subscribe to this channel. This is the stuff we talk about on here, and if you subscribe, you'll find out when new tutorials go up. And a big thanks to Milanote for sponsoring this series. Milanote is the wonderful web app you saw us use to organize all of our pre-productions so far. If you use the link in the description, you can try out Milanote and start getting yourself organized. It's really helped my pre-production process, and I think it'll help yours out as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you around the internet.